The other thing I've noticed with sort of writing, especially television writing, is you'll have a struggling artist, a writer, sitting in cafes 5 years, 7 years, perfecting his scripts for his 13 episode season one. And he finally dates the assistant to some producer who gets in, and we're greenlit the show. And they do the production, the casting, and he's all involved in everything. And the show is a hit, a miracle. It's a hit. Everybody loves it. And around the time episode 4, episode 5 airs, they come to him and say, okay, what are you going to do for season 2? And he goes, hamana. Season 2, it took 7 years to like get season 1 into the shape that it is. And so season 2 like isn't as good, and season 3 falls off the cliff. It's very, very difficult to maintain sort of progress on this. And I think that's the same with if you're going to do a book series. Now I know the Johnny Fazuli book is book 1.
Book 1. I've got 2 half written because it was originally going to be crunched into 1, and then it just kind of blew up. And I see the totality of the story, right? But it's not done yet. It's floating around in my bald head for the most part at this point.
So, and there's a book 0 to 1, right? About in business. It's much easier to go from 0 to 1. And that's true. But 1 to 2 is pretty hard too, because once you've got 1, you're like, oh,
yes.
We got 1.
And you nail your style, which as a writer, as an artist is everything. Like a great artist you can recognize. If they're a musician, it takes a measure, 2 measures, and you know it's them. They have a signature sound and style. And frankly, if you're a great writer, a paragraph, maximum 2, and you're it. You've got a style. You're distinctive.
Well, you have a very eccentric style in Johnny Fazuli in the sense that every paragraph are these 3-line, it's almost a poem. I mean, add a little alliteration, it'd be some sort of a ancient Anglo-Saxon poem, right?
Yeah.
And it's a different read. You know what I mean? It's a different read.
How did it feel for you in only the first couple chapters? It's like Axios.com meets the Iliad, where it's like boom, 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 and yet is it fresh? Is it disorienting? Is it?
It was disorienting at first. Of course, I think I got into it. The thing that they're doing with modern books these days, which I despise. But there's another friend of mine, sent me her book to read. And the first thing that jumped out at me that I objected to immediately was that it was written in first person present. And I object to being in the present tense completely from a writer's perspective. But then she said, oh, well, what about this book that you've read? That was in present tense. What about The Martian? That was in present tense. I'm like, The Martian was in present tense?
You don't notice.
Yeah. And I think the reason is that I listen to a lot of these books. And when you listen to something, if I'm telling you a story, like we went out to the bar the other night, she says this, and then I say this, and then this guy comes in, and then that guy says this, and it's like I'm telling it in present tense. We tell stories to each other in present tense. We don't write them down. Somebody in New York decided we're going to allow people to write books in present tense. And when I see it on the page, like I did with your book the other night, I'm like, another present tense book. And I was like, But when I hear it, like I've listened to The Martian 4 times, maybe, never noticed that it was in present tense. So it's an interesting cultural, grammatical shift that's going on in our society.